We're here to talk about things that I don't know too much of, but Robert Lupo from theorlandowizard.com, which goes right to his YouTube channel. Who gave you that idea? He knows more things than I do, so I brought him here to talk about Kyber crystals and things that he told me. He was also nice enough to give me, thank you, a black Kyber crystal. We will talk about how that's hard to attain now, how it's changed a little bit. So just so that we're clear, what are Kyber crystals?
Kyber crystals are the crystals that Jedis get to power their lightsabers. And in the Batuu, which is over in Hollywood Studios or Disneyland, which is quote-unquote Star Wars land, the Kyber crystals also work with the holocrons. And the whole purpose of the...
Okay, Jedi holocron?
Right.
Sith holocron.
Sith holocron.
Okay.
And they have very distinct differences on what they do.
Didn't they use these in The Mandalorian? Or was it the Rise of Skywalker? I know I saw these.
Rise of Skywalker,
okay.
And it was one of these.
Okay.
And the whole purpose of the Kyber crystal is the color of your lightsaber blade is dependent on, for a Jedi, whether or not they're more diplomatic or if they're more combative. So for a Jedi, if they are more verbally diplomatic, but yet still very trained, their lightsaber blade will be green. And if they are more combative, where they are very skilled in lightsaber combat, and they're not so diplomatic, it will be blue.
Ah, okay. So I chose purple. What does that mean?
So,
what is purple?
Purple is very interesting. First of all, Samuel Jackson just wanted a purple lightsaber, so that's how we ended up with purple.
That's the only reason why. Oh, is that how in the movie?
That's how it actually happened. They were like, I want mine to be purple, you know? And they let him have a purple lightsaber. But the way it worked in lore now is that Samuel Jackson's Windu, his whole purpose is that he is one of the best trained lightsaber combatives. So he would normally have a blue blade. But unlike other Jedis normally just basically turn away from their anger and their frustration. And what they do is they block it out. I can feel
your anger.
As you should. So what happened with Mace is that he embraced his anger and controlled it. So the way you get a red the way you get a red lightsaber blade is by damaging the Kyber crystal. Kyber crystals are normally clear. So a Sith Lord would put so much power in it, he actually hurts the crystal and it makes it bleed. They're living entities.
You're going to hurt my head because you know too much. He does know about this stuff.
But that's how you get purple.
That's how you get purple. Okay.
Because you have red and blue.
So now when you go into Savi's workshop and you purchase a lightsaber, you can choose your color Kyber crystal.
Correct.
Which is the color of the thing. I didn't know they also talk and say different things. The same crystal that goes into your lightsaber can go into these holocrons,
Absolutely.
Which you can buy in Galaxy's Edge. Now, I thought that when you bought a red Kyber crystal and you got a red Kyber crystal that you had a red Kyber crystal. He then tells me, no, there's a few different cuts of the red. I will show you these things. Do you see the differences? If you're looking now on the screen, you can see on that chart you gave me.
Right. I made that chart.
Right. The chart that you're looking at, Robert made it. And you can see there's different cuts of crystals that say different things in your holocron?
Yeah, so with most of the things, there's 4 different cuts per color.
Except for black.
Except for black, there's one cut. And black is just in a lightsaber, it'll be red.
Okay.
So you're not getting the black saber that everybody would love to have. But you have Snoke's voice on that in a Sith holocron. And
right, if you use the black crystal I found out in a Jedi holocron, you get whatever red would do.
Right.
Which we will show. We'll do the audio of it.
So the key with the holocrons is anything that's not red will be a specific color in the holocron and a specific voice. Except for purple. Purple actually there's 4 purple crystals, and 2 have 1 phrases, and the other one has a second set of phrases with Mace Windu. All the other ones, like in green, you'll have Yoda, and there's only one, even though there's two crystals with Yoda, it's always the same phrase.
So let's say you go to buy a crystal, you will see this. So you don't know what, this is red, you don't know what crystal is in this or what cut of it. So you can buy 3 of the same or hopefully get a different one. And the rarest one is?
The black crystal.
Now the black crystal you could only get in a
red.
Now it used to be that you would be able to, because it's, what is it, 1 out of every 500?
300.
Is it 300? 1 out of every 300 reds is a black. Approximately. This is what they say. Is that confirmed? Do we know?
It's easier now. They've upped the black crystals.
So it might be 1 out of 100 now? Even 1 out of 50?
It could be as easy as 1 out of 15.
Okay, still, that's still difficult.
It's very difficult.
These cost how much each?
So if you're not a pass holder, those are $15.95 each. And the key with this is, if you look inside, there's a black piece of paper, so you can't hold it up to the light.
Right, it used to be that you could hold it up to a light, and people would see, ooh, this isn't a red one, this is a black one.
They put black paper in there, and they redid the crystal holders. So if you go into dok-ondars' Den of Antiquities and you grab a red crystal, you can't shake them, none of them move anymore, and you can't hold it up to the light and see.
Oh, they didn't have these little bouncer things?
Well, they did, but they weren't fitted, so you could shake them, and if you shook it and it barely moved, you had a much better chance of getting a black crystal. Now none of them shake, and you can't hold them up. You literally have to use the Force to find a black crystal.
Okay. How many black crystals have you found, Robert?
I have found a total of 6.
That's pretty amazing.
And I literally used the Force. I just turned my head, I put it in there, I pulled out a crystal that was black. The next day, I did the same thing. I reached in, pull it out, and it was a black crystal.
Maybe you do have the Force. Did you ever open it there in the shop and they all freak out or anything?
So let me show you how to easily open these.
Okay.
So they're
yeah, I had a time. I didn't have a good time.
So they're shrink wrapped with plastic. So people are trying to use knives and fingernails and all that stuff. There's actually a really simple way to open these immediately. If you look at them, there's nothing inside this cap, and then it looks like it's like a piece of plastic with a hole in it, so you could wear it like a necklace. That side never opens for any crystal. So all you do is you take the side that doesn't have that little bar inside of it, and you just run your fingernail along that to break it open, and then unscrew. And you don't have to use a knife or scissors or anything, and they can always open the crystals. And it's a lot easier than trying to use scissors or anything else. But if you always open it from that side with your fingernail, easy way to get in and get your crystal.
Okay. Also, are they able to email? Do you have a blank chart for people that need this chart?
I do, and I will send it to you so you can post it for people.
Okay.
So you can start your own collection.
Sorry about what may have just been a rough edit. We were trying to figure out how to get you this chart that he made so that if you do want to start a collection of crystals, you can say, got this one, need this one, need this one.
Yep.
I don't even know how you could tell with some of the differences. I'm going to get a few, and we'll look at them and see what you can tell from it.
Absolutely. Well, if you look at the chart, I tried to position them on the chart so you could see the tips. It's all in the tips.
I will put on the Pandemonium Facebook group, which you get to at bigfatpandemonium.com. I will put a link to his website, theorlandowizard.com, and this chart so that you can download it and print it up. So you're saying that the back of it is pretty much the same.
Yes.
But the tip of it is always the different thing.
That's how you're going to identify. So if you look at the chart, I believe that one is Sidious. But I have reprogrammed it to be Darth Vader's 8-ball.
What does that mean, you've reprogrammed it to be Darth Vader?
So the crystals themselves have an RFID chip inside. So I went to eBay and I got an RFID reader-writer at 125 kilohertz. This will hurt your brain. So I knew what the RFID was for the Darth Vader 8-ball. And what I did is...
What does that mean, Darth Vader 8-ball?
Okay, so you have the Darth Vader Kyber Crystal, which has 9 different phrases from Darth Vader. And the 8-ball, if you remember when you were a kid, you had a magic 8-ball.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, so it's basically Darth Vader phrases that match those specific things. So, like, I see the power.
So that works it?
Yeah.
Hold on. So don't try this at home. You will not have this at home. And you shouldn't have this at home. I am not suggesting you should get an RFID reader and change it. But since he's already done it,
So you put it in, you turn it on.
The Force is with you. Success is within your grasp. The will of the Force is uncertain. Do not put your faith in prophecy.
So as you're asking questions like, will I get married?
Your destiny lies along a different path.
Well, that's depressing.
You have to be careful with these questions.
Should I cancel my date for Friday?
You will pay the price for your lack of vision.
Am I going to lose weight on the new diet?
Right, answer.
Events are in motion. The outcome is unclear.
Story of my life. Okay, but now if I put that crystal in here, will it be different?
Yes, it would be totally different because the red crystals all have the same message, and it's Yoda basically warning you about the dark side. Now, the interesting thing is if you have a colored crystal and you put in the Sith, it's going to be, I believe, Dooku trying to tempt you to the dark side. So you put the crystal in and turn it on.
They do light up too. It's very bright in the studio.
So what you're not seeing is it's actually kind of red.
Adventure. Excitement. A Jedi craves not these things. You are reckless. Once you start down the dark path, forever will it dominate your destiny, consume you it will, as it did Obi-Wan's apprentice.
It's a little excited there, Yoda. Do it. Let me press it, and then I'll show the lights to see if they can. Look, you marked it so that you could see where to touch it.
Attachment leads to jealousy. The shadow of greed, that is.
Now, later, when you grab some of your colored crystals, you can actually hear the correct voice for them.
Now, that is the correct voice for this RFID, or no?
So, this would normally be like you heard in the Sith, but all red crystals would give you the same phrases in the Jedi Holocron, and then all colored crystals would give you a specific phrase in the same voice inside the Sith Holocron.
Also, if you take the two holocrons together, I don't know if you have this yet. Will it work now? You turn them both on, they do something completely different if you have both of them.
All right, so hold that.
So there's a reason to spend, how much are these, 50, I think?
$50 a piece. Now, if you watch, when I put them together, they both turn purple.
Jedi and Sith wield the Ashlar and Bogan, the light and the dark.
I'm the one in the middle, the Bendu. I take no side. I am beyond your worrying and wars. I am unseen, unknowable, like a rock in the river.
If two such powerful sources of knowledge are united, they will grant a clarity of vision beyond your kind.
How many sayings are there?
Usually there's 9 sayings per crystal and per orientation.
Okay, so that chart is gonna, I mean, this, I know, I may have confused you more than what you knew before about Kyber crystals. All right, so there's 4 of each color, except for black.
Right.
Okay, don't be changing RFIDs unless you want to. You must have extra red ones that you just said. Okay,
yeah, and green ones, just so I could do the 8 balls and program them. The nice thing is that chart shows you every single RFID and for the different voices that you could do. So if you decided to get an RFID reader writer, it has to be 125 kilohertz.
Okay. All right, so that's basically Kyber crystals. Did you know that I would need to know this. I'm going to have a prize, some sort of a Kyber crystal prize for one of the comments on the channel. So make sure you're subscribed to BigFatPanda.com. Please go check out and subscribe to TheOrlandoWizard.com. He's really cool, Robert. You'll find some fun stuff there. He's a little wacky, too, so just calm down there.
Yeah, but you hang out with me. What does that say about you?
It says I'm not all there either. And I know this. I completely accept my fate. On the comments, I want to know if you knew that there was more than one type of colored crystal. Meaning not that there was more than one color, but that if you got red, there were other red ones. Because I did not, and I'm just curious if that was a common... Nobody tells you this. There's not like a cast member in Galaxy's Edge that says, oh, by the way, they're kind of like, you discover this for yourself.
Yeah, it took me a while to actually come up with that list. If you don't have the 8-ball crystals, now I've never found an 8-ball crystal, and I've gone through hundreds of red crystals.
Oh wait, you mean the 8-ball crystals actually exist somewhere?
They say they do, and I swear that you'll get comments like, "Oh, I found one." I've never seen one.
Okay, I thought you just created that off the top.
Oh
of your
no.
Oh, there might be one. Okay.
So people have used RFID readers on the holocrons and just ran through the number list, and they were there. So I had to program mine, but if you don't have 8
You're
balls...
going to find one day, I'm pretty sure.
Someday, if they exist, really. I don't know because I've never seen one, and I've gone through
where would the
over
audio
200.
come from?
So it's built in to the holocrons.
Oh,
now, there's
okay.
also two
it's just
other
the crystal
colors.
that unlocks it.
Right. The RFID number does. So, like, if you look at the list, there's also an orange and teal. And if you open up there's windows right here in the lightsabers. So if you put a crystal with that number here, that will turn orange or it'll turn teal, but it doesn't turn the blade that color. So
are there orange and teal Kyber crystals yet?
No.
They're probably coming.
But I doubt it. And the reason why I doubt it is because if that was true, then the blade would be orange or teal. And because it doesn't change the blade color, I think what happened is they thought about it and changed their mind.
Okay,
which is what can happen too.
I'm going to sound really, really dumb right now. I thought the crystal made the color of the blade. Not that the machine had it in it to be the color. Yeah. I thought they shined a light through it. And then...
Oh, no. It's the RFID. It's the RFID that the lightsaber picks up the RFID and then knows how to change the color.
So the crystal really is not...
It's just an RFID.
So all the phrases are actually in this box. It's just
yes, everything's in there, and you use the different crystals to unlock it.
I hope you've learned something. Let me know. I will pick one comment at random and give a prize to. Thank you, Robert. Are you going to come back and do a real show?
Absolutely.
Thank you, sir. I never gave you Panda. Thank you.
The seed of the Jedi Order lives. And as long as it does, hope lives. My worthy apprentice, where there was conflict, I now sense resolve. Where there was weakness, strength. Complete your training and fulfill your destiny.